Good morning. So today we start with a that is blood glucose regulation. So regulation of blood glucose is there. How in the glucose in the blood is regulated. What are the mechanism to have the same glucose level during fasting, even if we eat two sweets in the dinner, or if we don't eat any sweets, then also the sugar level remains same. How it is happening? So today we will see in this class that how sugar is regulated. So the normal blood glucose level, it is fasting, it is 70 to 110 milligram per deciliter. So what is this fasting? Fasting means 10 to 12 hours of fasting. So like in the morning, in the evening, when at 8 o'clock you have taken your dinner, then in the morning at 8 you have to give the sample. That is known as fasting. In between, even you have not drank milk, even you have not drank alcohol or anything. So this is known as fasting sample. The level is till 110 milligram per deciliter. Deciliter is what? 100 ml. Then postprandial. Postprandial is after meal. So after eating, when you take your lunch, after that 2 hours after that lunch, that is postprandial stage, that is up to 140 milligram per deciliter. Then this sugar is maintained by as the rate of glucose entrance into the blood circulation. So it depends on what the glucose is entering in the blood, and the same it is on the rate of removal of glucose. So how much glucose is removed. If these two levels are maintained, then the sugar level will always be in the narrow range. Now variation in blood glucose. Blood glucose concentration, the normal level is 60 to 110 milligram per deciliter, and if the level is less than 60, the condition is known as hypoglycemia. If it is more than 110, the condition is known as hyperglycemia. Hyper means more, so more than the level. Hypo means less, that is less than the level. Now balance between the two things. What two things should be balanced? Then only the blood sugar level is regulated, or there is homeostasis of blood sugar. So how the glucose is homeostatized? So rate of glucose entering into the blood. So what is that? How much glucose is entered into the blood should be always equal to the rate of removal of blood. So how much the glucose is removed or sugar is removed from the blood. Now supply of glucose. Supply of glucose, we have glucose by absorption of dietary carbohydrate from glycogenolysis. Lysis is what? Breakdown of what? Glycogen. So when glycogen is breaking down to form glucose, this pathway is glycogenolysis. So it adds sugar to the blood. Then gluconeogenesis. Genesis is again synthesis. It is of synthesis of what? Glucose. Synthesis of glucose from neo substances, that is non-carbohydrates. So when non-carbohydrates synthesize glucose, the process is known as gluconeogenesis. So this gluconeogenesis also adds sugar to the blood. Now removal, how sugar is removed from the blood? By glycolysis, that is breakdown of glucose. Glycogenesis, that is glucose is converted into glycogen. And HMP shunt, where pentose sugar are synthesized. Synthesis of fats, that is lipogenesis. Synthesis of mucopolysaccharides, which contain carbohydrates and also proteins. Glycolipids, where sugar is there. In glycoproteins, where sugar is there in this, and in formation of ribose sugar. All these processes utilize glucose. Now we see overview, है ना? The same thing. Addition, now we see addition of glucose in blood is by gluconeogenesis, by diet, by hepatic glycogenolysis, glucose obtained from other carbohydrate. Then removal is by removal of glucose is to the glycolysis, to peripheral uptake, lipogenesis, uronic acid pathway, glycogenesis, HMP shunt, synthesis of other sugars like amino sugar, lipoproteins, glycoproteins, etc. And an abnormal condition is there, that is excretion of urine in excretion of glucose in urine. The condition is known as urine glycosuria. When the glucose level exceeds renal threshold, that is renal threshold is 168 to 180. When the sugar crosses this level, then the sugar is excreted in urine. That condition is known as urine glycosuria, and that is abnormal condition. Now blood glucose level in fasting state. In fasting state, it is also known as post-absorptive state. Here at this time we are not taking the meal. It is the 10 to 12 hours after the meal. So here then the what are the sources of glucose at this time? At this time the source of glucose is only liver glycogen. Muscle glycogen cannot provide glucose because it does not have enzyme glucose 6 phosphatase. For this you can see the process glycogenolysis. So the lecture on glycogenolysis will help you to understand this enzyme. This enzyme is useful to synthesize glucose from glucose 6 phosphate. This is gluconeogenesis, and it directly it cannot help muscle glycogen, but indirectly it can help by running a process gluconeogenesis. This gluconeogenesis is what? Synthesis of lactate and pyruvate to form glucose. Now blood glucose level in postprandial, so in fed state, when you are eating after the meal. So after the condition following ingestion of food is called postprandial state. Absorbed monosaccharides are utilized for oxidation to provide energy. Then remaining is used to store in form of glycogen in muscle and liver. Then 40% of glucose is absorbed and is used for lipogenesis, that is fat synthesis, and remaining is used for synthesis of glycoprotein and glycolipid. Now how this glucose is regulated? So if you eat today in the dinner, when you ate only sweets, nothing else, then also the fasting is between 60 to 110. And today in the dinner and next day in the dinner, when you ate now no sugar, nothing, only a little bit dalia, then also your fasting sugar will be in the range of 70 to 110 milligram per deciliter. How this is possible? So how this mechanism is regulated, that sugar glucose level is in that narrow range. So three processes are responsible, that are metabolic process, hormonal control and renal control. So what are metabolic control? Metabolic control means the metabolic pathways. So these are the pathways which reduce sugar: glycolysis, glycogenesis and starvation. When these things occur, the sugar is reduced in blood. Then increases, these are the pathways which increase sugar. They are what? Glycogenolysis, gluconeogenesis and fat state. When these pathways occur, the blood sugar increases. So as the blood glucose tend to increase, when the blood glucose in the when glucose in the blood increases, then glycogenesis is excreted. So liver start synthesizing glycogen from that glucose, whatever the increased glucose is there. Then it utilizes glucose by the tissues is increased. So glucose utilization by the tissues is increased, and in this way there is fall in blood glucose. Decrease in delivery of glucose by liver. So liver start now decrease its delivery of glucose. Then decreases gluconeogenesis. At this time gluconeogenesis will not occur. And decrease output of glucose from liver. Increase utilization of glucose, and in this way glucose is utilized, increases utilization of glucose. All these conditions, all these actions will ultimately lead to fall in glucose level. So the increased glucose level is now maintained by all these processes, so it tends to decrease the blood glucose level. Now as the blood glucose tend to decrease, so when the blood glucose level decreases, then what mechanisms occur? So glycogenolysis is accelerated. So glycogenolysis is what? Synthesis of glucose from glycogen. Then gluconeogenesis also increase, that is increase in, that causes increase in blood glucose because it synthesizes glucose from non-carbohydrates. Then increase in production of glucose by liver. Liver produces glucose level by glycogenolysis and gluconeogenesis. Then decrease in secretion of insulin. So insulin secretion is decreased. Why it is decreased? Because it is responsible for reducing blood sugar. So this should be decreased, otherwise it is already decreased blood glucose and it will again decrease. So insulin is decreased. Then decrease in ratio of insulin, glucocorticoid and growth hormones. Then decreased utilization of glucose. Due to this all above action, blood glucose tends to rise and in this way blood glucose is maintained. So these are metabolic regulation, how it is regulated by the pathway. Now number 2 is hormone regulation of blood glucose. So there are two categories of hormone. One hormone which decreases blood glucose, they are known as hypoglycemic hormones. The only that is insulin. And the hormone which increase blood glucose level, they are known as hyperglycemic hormone. So all the rest hormones are hyperglycemic, like glucagon, epinephrine, cortisol, thyroid hormones. Then now we see hormones involved in regulation of blood glucose. Which decreases blood glucose are insulin and somatostatin. And which increases blood glucose level are glucagon, epinephrine, cortisol, ACTH, growth hormone, thyroxine, all these adrenal corticoid hormone releasing. Then now these are all hormones which increases blood glucose level. They are growth hormone, glucagon, thyroxine, epinephrine, norepinephrine, adrenocorticoid, mineralocorticoid, all these increases blood glucose level. Then decreases only is insulin. So insulin is the only hormone which fight against all hormones. So you can see there is a tug of war. This insulin akela only alone, it fights with all these hormones, growth hormone, glucocorticoid, glucagon, growth hormone, then thyroid hormone, catecholamines, epinephrine, all these only insulin again akela or alone fights with all these hormones. Then hyperglycemia. So what is hyperglycemia and what is hypoglycemia? What are the conditions which increase blood sugar level? What are the conditions which decrease blood glucose level? So first we will see what conditions which give rise to increase in blood glucose. So hyperactivity of thyroid, pituitary, hyperactivity of pituitary, hyperactivity of thyroid, adrenal gland, all this increases blood glucose. Stress increases blood glucose. Pancreatic disease increases blood glucose. In sepsis, blood glucose is increased. Intracranial disease, blood glucose is increased. Anesthesia, some if given, then blood glucose is increased. And in convulsions, the blood glucose is increased. Now what are the conditions which reduces blood glucose? That is hypoactivity of thyroid, pituitary and adrenal gland, severe liver disease, deficiency of glutathione, severe exercise, glycogen storage disease and impaired absorption. All these conditions may lead to hypoglycemia. Now we see what hormones are responsible, how they are taking the action. So insulin, what insulin is doing? It is decreasing blood glucose level by increasing the uptake of glucose, by promoting glycolysis, by promoting glycogenesis, by inhibiting gluconeogenesis, and by decreasing glycogenolysis. In this way, all these conditions are insulin acts and decreases blood glucose level. Now glucagon, this is the hormone that is secreted by alpha cells of pancreas. It is also called as anti-insulin hormone. It is hyperglycemic hormone which increases blood glucose. It increases blood glucose level by increasing glycogenolysis, by increasing gluconeogenesis, by decreasing glycolysis, and by inhibiting glycogenesis. Now cortisol, this is the hormone that is secreted by adrenal cortex. This hormone mainly increases gluconeogenesis. It promotes the release of amino acid and lactate by muscle cells. Then adrenocorticoid hormone, it is secreted from anterior pituitary gland. It decreases glucose utilization. Then it is growth hormone. It is secreted by anterior pituitary gland. It decreases glycolysis. It mobilizes fat from adipose tissue. Then is adrenaline. This is a hormone that is secreted by adrenal medulla. This hormone increases gluconeogenesis, glycogenolysis. It increases uptake of amino acid. It reduces glycolysis and stimulates glucagon secretion. Then thyroxine hormone, it is secreted by thyroid gland. It increases hepatic glycogenolysis, also gluconeogenesis. It increases intestinal absorption of glucose. Now the last, that is renal control. So we all know that in normal condition glucose is not excreted in urine. So some glucose, like you can see in normal subject, a very small amount of, it is less than 0.5 gram of glucose that may escape in urine, but it is reabsorbed by tubules and be excreted by urine. All are reabsorbed, but this amount is not detected by Benedict test. So very small amount is excreted in urine, otherwise all is reabsorbed, but that amount is not detected by Benedict's test. So what you can see, this is what in normal individual glycosuria. What is glycosuria? Excretion of glucose in urine occurs when the venous blood glucose exceeds, that is what 168 to 180 milligram per deciliter. This level of venous blood glucose is known as renal threshold. This is known as renal threshold for glucose. So when the glucose is excreted more than, when the glucose level exceeds this level, then it is detected by Benedict test, and that is known as glycosuria. And in this way renal is taking the control. How? It does not allow sugar to go in urine unless it is less than 168. So when it crosses this renal threshold, then it allows sugar to go in urine or excrete glucose in urine. In this way it helps in reduction of glucose, but when the glucose level is low, then it does not allow glucose excretion in urine or glycosuria. So now we see hormonal, how the hormonal control by other hormones is there. Insulin, it increases peripheral uptake, it increases glycolysis, it increases glycogenesis, it increases lipogenesis, and the total net effect is what? Blood glucose is reduced. Rest all increases blood glucose. So now glucagon, it increases gluconeogenesis, glycogenolysis, lipolysis, and protein catabolism. And the net effect is blood glucose level is increased. The same catecholamines, they are increasing gluconeogenesis, they increase glucogenolysis, they increase lipolysis. Then glucocorticoid, they increase gluconeogenesis, they increase glycogenolysis, they increase lipolysis and protein catabolism. Growth hormone increases gluconeogenesis, glycogenesis, and lipolysis and protein catabolism. Thyroid hormone is increased by absorption of glucose, then it causes gluconeogenesis, then it causes glycogenolysis, then it causes lipolysis and protein catabolism. In this way, the net effect is increase in blood glucose. So thank you very much. So we have finished this. Okay, so you can also watch all this metabolic pathway, that will help you to understand this lecture nicely.